Hi and welcome to JulietTuralski. I'm so happy to have you today. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. Hi, everyone.
Hey, I'm so excited because Juliet is a transformation empowerment coach. She's also a Reiki healer and a motivational speaker, and I'm really impressed with how Juliet has managed to do so much in such little time. I know you're also quite young, so it's really impressive to see how you put your energy into all the projects you're working on, and since you created your website, Jules Inspired as well, it's been a really beautiful journey to watch as well. So I'd love to know a bit more about who you are and your journey and about the work you do.
Wow, thank you. It is interesting because I am on the younger scale for sure. So kind of representing the younger generation and really doing it because I think it's important in today's society. So much of us need some guidance, some spiritual guidance to come back to who we truly are, to really start living the lives we want. And my own journey has kind of proved that to me. When I was younger, in 2001 to 2002, I had 5 members of my family pass away, including my father, which was 2 days before Father's Day. That was like a massive, experience for me. And what does 11-year-old do? I didn't do anything. I didn't deal with anything. I didn't know how necessarily. So I went into high school and just got into the drinking and the partying and relationships that weren't really serving me at the time, but I would hold on to them anyway. And it was just it's a really transformative experience. And during that time, I was very unconscious about what I was doing, and I wasn't very confident in my opinions, and I was trying to sugarcoat things when things really weren't okay on the inside. So that kind of led me into college, where I got into my second relationship that also ended, and the whole alcohol issue was revolved around that. And then it was just 6 months where I just really felt everything that I hadn't felt for the past, 5, 6 years. And that was pretty heavy. It felt heavy when I look back on it. But it was a beautiful thing to go through. And at the time as well, like I actually felt so low that I thought I would be a bum on the streets of New York City. I literally felt that low of myself. But then, by allowing myself to just feel during that period, come that December, so that would be 2010, the book The Power of Now fell into my lap. And it shifted my life and shifted the way I experienced. And I realized that I was such a victim of what had happened to me growing up, a victim of everything that I experienced, instead of really seeing my part in how I was contributing to the way I was living. So fast forward to that summer after I discovered the power of now, I discovered Reiki, and it's an energy healing technique that really just helped me to work and heal everything on the inside. And now I'm a Reiki master practitioner, so that's been amazing to incorporate into my life. And ever since then, more books, more opportunities to meet amazing people. And I signed up with my first life coach, who Tara, and then that really just propelled me into knowing that I was ready to work with people one-on-one to help them with their own transformation. And even if they didn't know they needed transformation, the conversations I was having with people showed and proved that it was really changing the way they were looking at their life and their situations. And I found that there's a real conversation in having a new perspective and looking at life through love and bringing love into everything you do. So then I launched my Facebook page back in December and my website a few months later. And I've been coaching people one-on-one. And just the transformation I have seen my clients go through is so thrilling and fulfilling for both of us. to see, you know, the intention and the power when you can put behind saying yes to yourself. Such incredible things happen. So that's kind of my way into coaching today, and working with groups and sharing this new conversation.
Ah, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. It's so interesting to hear also the stories behind, like why someone would get into coaching as well. And I think it's so valuable as well, like all the difficult things you've been through, because you can use that with your clients. Because I think at one point it's really important to know what it feels like, even if you haven't been through exactly the same situation. Just being that low, I think that when you haven't felt that, it's really hard to maybe feel as much compassion for the person who's feeling that at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that there are a lot of parallel lines that exist between everyone's experience. It's almost like a cobweb. We're all somehow connected, because no matter what you're experiencing, the things we feel on a cellular level are essentially the same thing. You know, whether we're the victim of something, or we don't feel worthy of our life, or where we find ourselves, our confidence, you know, gets minimized. There's so many things that we can relate with one another through our experiences, which is the beautiful thing. You know, it's saying, hey, you know, we all go through shit. Like we're all given a shit platter at one point or another, and it's what you decide to do, how you decide to serve it in your life,
Yeah.
incorporate it into your life. So
Definitely, because it's not like, because I know sometimes some people, because I'm always pretty much happy, well, a lot of the times, and so some people assume that it's because I've never had any difficult times, like, you know, perfect childhood, perfect life, nothing bad ever happened, and it's actually, I think, more about what we do with the experiences we've had, because I don't know if there are any super easy lives, and I've met some people in my life who've been through such difficult times and who still manage to see the joy where it is and to be grateful for what they have. And it really is about like how you look at things and how much power you give yourself as well when it comes to transforming and wanting to change things. Of course, I do think it can be more difficult for some people than for others, because if you have a long past of like really difficult things and you don't have a lot of role models around you, it can be really hard to change. But we can change that too, can't we? And I think it's, and you probably experienced that as well, like how important it is to have people around you who support the work you do and who also have like big visions of what they want to do and who believe it's possible to change things. Because that is so important as well, like the people we hang out with and the people we exchange ideas with, because it's like we create um, something new together. And even if the world and there are parts of the world that are really like in lots of conflict and there are a lot of difficulties, to be able to kind of hold that vision even in difficult times, that's what brings us forward and what creates change, isn't it?
yeah, absolutely. I think you know, really see everywhere around the world, people are flipping those messages on their head that they've received, and serving the world and other people by sharing that and sharing their experience through that. And the more of us who do that, the more of a ripple effect it's going to have energetically, you know, to people in their own lives. And that's where you start. You have to start before you're ready. Start somewhere. And if it's to one person, even if it's to your little brother or sister, you know, just it's profoundly amazing how your experience, no matter what you're going through, can touch someone, because at some point it's touching them on a level that pings exactly where they're at. And it's just a beautiful transformation from then. Even, you know, you don't have to be that person guiding them necessarily. You're guiding them, though, maybe unintentionally, by just sharing that message. And I think if this is why I love this work, it's because it's just sharing the message that it's okay to be vulnerable, to share what you've gone through. You know, it's okay to share the, you know, the low points of what you've experienced. Because the more you don't share that as well, the more you're keeping that in. Like, let it out. Like, let it go. Sing it out, you know?
Yeah.
Like, let the world know, because you're serving yourself and other people so much more.
Yeah, that's so true. And it feels like in our societies we're so into like like creating perfect images of ourselves, and then we feel bad because we can't live up to them. But it's not normal to live up to them, because it's like we have like impossible images that we try to live up to. So just to have someone say, well, I'm not a perfect mom, or I'm not great at this, and I have bad days, or this was really difficult, or like when you go through something, to say that, well, I have lots of fears coming up when I do something new as well. I find it such a big relief for other people, because then it's like they go, okay, so I'm just normal, and it's like we're feeling the same thing. So if you can do that, although you're feeling fear, or it's really challenging, well, maybe I can too. And that kind of opens up to something that we think is impossible. And I think that's really beautiful, how we kind of all support each other to transform, because it's like we go through these cycles. And at one point you're supporting someone, and then someone else is supporting you, and it's like, it feels like a really generous space to be in as well, like helping each other and supporting each other. And at the same time, everyone has their own like power and their own path, which to me feels quite new as an atmosphere, like a group thing going on, like especially in the online world where we hang out as well, and a lot of women as well. Like it just feels so, like really kind of a new way of being and supporting each other, where we're not competing and we're not like trying to be better than someone else, and just like helping each other out, and how much more that creates for everyone.
Yeah, totally. It's like raising the spiritual standard
Yeah.
in society. Yeah. And even if you're not into like spirits, or like thinking of universe and life force as spiritual, that's okay. Like you're still able to express yourself. It could just be an expression. But anyone watching, it's just really finding that, what that means to you, and not judging it for what it is, not judging it compared to what other people think or how people are perceiving or talking about it. It's like, what is it for you? What's happening inside that now you can really allow yourself to speak about? Even if you don't know what that is, just speak about it and see what comes up for you.
Yeah, that's true. And even for someone who's not necessarily into spirituality, it can be like your intuition or your gut feeling about something. Because I think everyone has that. And then it's like, what kind of words do you use to describe it, or how far are we going to go in that, and like reflecting on it as well. So yeah, it's exciting. And so I'm really curious to know as well what you how you connect with spirit, whatever that means for you.
Yeah, I love it. I love thinking about how I connect with it, because I feel like I'm with spirit all day long. And I really felt like this for like strongly for the past year or two specifically. Like spirit is just always here with me. And you know how people talk about creating like a sacred altar or something like that. So I love the idea of that. But at the moment in my house where I'm living, things are scattered all over the place because there's reconstruction and that kind of thing. I moved back from college, so there's stuff everywhere. And so really, I've turned it from having a physical space to creating a physical like altar. I mean, a spiritual inner altar for yourself, where you always turn to. Create the sacred space inside, so that no matter what chaos you see on the outside, you always can come home in here. You always can come back to being present, which I think is what spirit is. It's really being present with life, with the life force, with what's happening around you. So for myself, it's really just connecting in and saying hello, like, okay, I feel you, I see you, you're here, and bringing that wherever I go. Checking in if I'm making a decision, checking in, how does that feel in my sacred home? And that kind of is my inner GPS system guiding me through life. Spirit is really just that beautiful connection with life and the energy that's happening at every moment. I never feel like it loses me, even if my ego is like, no, I just feel like being on the couch today and watching TV, despite what you're saying. I can still hear my intuition, that life force coming through me, telling me, nudging me gently into, okay, maybe this is the way you should do it. Maybe this is this is the way we should try and approach this today. And I listen to it. Whether I listen or actually act upon it or not is another thing. But that's the beautiful journey with living with intuition, living with life force.
Wow, I love how you share that, and it's great to know you have it inside, because then you don't need to be in a certain place. You don't have to do a certain ritual. It's like always available. And how have you found that has it changed over time, your connection?
Yeah, it certainly has, and I think every day it grows into something stronger. And I learn so much about spirit in every experience I have. And I think that's why we have our experiences, to really connect, see what that relationship is with it. I would say that, a little bit over a couple of years ago, like I really didn't believe in the connection. I knew it was there. This was actually right after I got certified in Reiki. During the first few months after, it was so intense when I got certified, and I was like, wow, this is really amazing, like having this relationship, learning how to be with life force, learning how to be with the universe and energy. Then after, it was like, okay, how do I apply this into my day-to-day life? I was in school at the time, so my schedule is all over the place, and I always knew it was there, but it was like I didn't quite know how to create the relationship with it. And then one day, it just dawned on me, it truly is always here. It really is just a gentle reminder to come back to this space and just to be with it in moments of stillness, in moments of just reflective meditation. And so from there, while I spent more time with it, I would say now it's just the strong force coming through me that I can feel, with my eyes open, when I'm making breakfast, when I'm talking with a friend. It's always here as a beautiful guidance. So.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. It's so nice how but that can always be a challenge, I think, to know what to do with spiritual practices or spiritual tools, like how to integrate them in our lives, because it's almost like they're in separate worlds. And how do I use that? Because it's great to experience and have a great time like exploring, but how can you actually integrate it into your life? Because that's what's interesting. I mean, how can it serve us every day? So I think it's really important to have like consistent, regular, simple practices that we can use. Because if it has to be really, really elaborate, like, okay, I have to meditate for 2 hours every day in a place like that's really silent, and I need my incense, and it can happen. But I think a lot of people don't take time every day to do it, and it doesn't have to be like that. It can be it can be simpler.
Yeah, like at this point in my life, I am not meditating for 2 hours a day. I can tell you that. I think it's to begin, or if you're beginning to have a relationship with spirit, or you are already with spirit but want to make it stronger. It's really, I think, maybe coming back to checking into your experiences that you've had in the past and that are still coming up for you now. Because that's really the jumping point to how we can be and live with our spirit. It's allowing us to see and to cultivate a relationship with spirit, because it's like, how do we deal, or how do we see our experiences without really truly looking at it in how it's serving our growth and our journey, how it's expanding us. We can't know that without our experiences. So it's really starting there and having a gentle conversation with those experiences, seeing the experiences for what they are, and, saying, I see you. I see these emotions coming up for me from this experience. I see you. I hear you. I forgive you. I love you. And I release you. I love saying that, you just see that come up. I see you. I forgive you. I love you. I release you. And just cultivating that mantra really helps you to allow force and spirit to come through. And it's gently talking to those emotions that come up, and it's gently saying it's okay to feel this way, but now it's time for me to release you. The more you allow yourself to release, the stronger spirit gets. The stronger you can hear spirit come through. And then it's just a practice from there. You know, there's so many beautiful, beautiful tools you can use, which is the exciting part. Like, that's the adventure. Like, find out what works for you to connect more. You know, you definitely don't have to meditate for an hour every day, I don't think. It's a beautiful practice, and maybe at one point you will, but you don't need to have that now. You don't need to have this specific way or regimen of doing spirit. That's what's beautiful about it. Just find what works for you. Find that, discover the journey that spirit wants to take you on.
Yeah, because it's so individual, isn't it? What it is. There are no like set truth for everyone. It's like find your own way and your own way of doing things and your own way of being, and that's when you really listen in. And so it can change and evolve over time, depending on like how you grow as well. And it's interesting as well because I do think that like just acknowledging and accepting our emotions when they come, and then releasing them for me, that has been such an important practice, because we learn so much to like either ignore our feelings or to be so much in them that we just kind of get stuck and we never get out. So just like embracing them and seeing them and then releasing them, it's like there's something we kind of let go, right? And so we can just see them for what they are, and then we don't have to stay stuck in that, and then we can keep going to where we're going, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just having that mindful practice about it, and becoming conscious. It's really, you know, a way of conscious living, conscious of what experiences you're finding yourself, becoming conscious of the people and the way you're speaking to people and what you're sharing from a soul level with other people. It's a beautiful journey. You know, it's something to really be excited about and not fearful, because it's about creating a new relationship with your fears that stem a lot from the experiences. So it's seeing the fears for what they are and saying, you know, I see you, I love you, I forgive you, and I release you.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for sharing your journey with us and the work you do, and lots of great examples of things that everyone can try out at home if you want to. And so thank you very much, Juliet. And for everyone who's watching this, do check her website out, because it's really great, and you're also a great writer. So there are exciting blog posts to read and other things you've written as well. So thank you so much for taking the time, and have a good day.
Thank you, Karina. Bye, everyone.
Bye.